Is it time for recess yet? I'm so glad you found time to join us here on the Childcare Director's Chair, where Erica Saccoccio shares her best practices that she's refined through her passion of directing childcare centers over the last 23 years. From parenting interaction, systems to save you time, money, and stress, to profitability. She shares it all from the Childcare Director's Chair.
Hey guys, Erica Saccoccio here with the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. And we have part 2 of an interview with Avangela Childs, author, coach, childcare business owner, advocate for communities. So welcome back to the show. We are going to talk today a little bit about legacy. So for those of you who haven't seen the first episode, I would hop on over, check that out first. Towards the end of our conversation, we started to talk about legacy. So I'd love to expand on that. So let's talk about that. What is legacy? What does that mean?
For me, legacy is how you will be remembered when you're no longer here to remind people who you are.
That's a pretty good description. I think too, when you think about legacy, I think it's also what you want to leave as that imprint on those that have had, not only the ones that have met you, but people who haven't met you, right? What impact does that second or third or fourth person removed from people who, right? Because there are people who could have made a lasting impression on your life that you've never even met. So I think it's not only the people that we meet, but the people that have had some type of influence or change in their life due to something we've done or said or our work. So talk to me a little bit about your journey on what you're hoping to do in terms of leaving a legacy with what you're sharing now with your book.
Well, with my book, my hope is that childcare business leaders take the time to reconnect with who they are and how they can truly impact the community that they serve. Forgive me. It's so often that we think about, the curriculum, and we think about how cute our facilities are, and we think about, enrollment, and we think about the day-to-day things, but we don't often sit and think of what happens outside of the four walls of our building. And for me, I feel like that is so vital to be interconnected within the community so that your children have an extended network of support.
Can you share some examples of how you do that in your program?
Yeah. In our program, we were connected to the schools. We had a relationship with local business owners. We did giveaways. There was this organization called Communities in Schools, and so they were really connected with how the community connected to the children in the school. So the children didn't even have to be enrolled in our program if they were located in the neighborhood in which the children that we serve. Then we were able to serve them in other capacities. So even tutoring or showing up for different parent workshops for the parents in the community, because all of these parents and adults touch the children that you serve.
Yeah, so if somebody is maybe a new child care director and isn't sure how to get started, what would you recommend? How do they start to make these connections?
Well, I would say figure out what problem it is that you want to solve in the world first. Think about what your purpose is. Why are you starting this child care facility for real? You know what I mean? If you don't have a reason, sit with yourself and figure it out and come up with one. And because you can always serve a higher purpose than yourself. You know what I mean? If you started a child care center just for the money, you got tricked. But so just figure out your real purpose. If you truly love children, what is it about children that you want to help them with? And then connect to those organizations in the community that also service those same children in some capacity. So what we did was we wanted to provide food for our children. A lot of in my community, we have a very high percentage of children that are below the poverty line. Their families are below the poverty line. So what we would do is their basic needs, we would connect to those organizations that already service them. So the organizations like the food banks, we connected to programs that gave clothes, shelter, programs that we connected to a women's shelter for battered women. We even created a scholarship program, and it helped increase our enrollment, but those parents got a scholarship. And we also had that relationship with that organization. So we provided parenting classes and things like that to the women that came to that facility. So we just pretty much aligned ourselves with the organizations that thought like us. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Google search, going out into the communities, going to the different community events that have vendors, going out, letting people, introducing yourself, getting to know these people, going to your local chamber and going to those meetings and meeting people and letting them know what it is that you were purposed in the world to do and how they can and how you can service them. A lot of times people go to network meetings and they're like, me, 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 me. No, go and see how you can serve.
Yeah, and yeah, I think too, one of the ways that you can really build your team is also, as you said, when you're getting out there, like how great is it to have like your whole team go and, like you said, the food bank and go and help serve the food, not just collect the food, but serve the food, meet the faces, meet the people. And that's a great way to for your team to bond and, really become cohesive. And not maybe not even just your team, your families too, right? Inviting them to, hey, this is where we're going to go. We're supporting this. You want to come as well. Maybe they're going to go plant flowers at the women's shelter, or there's so many, yeah, so many ways.
The after school children make teddy bears and take them to the local children's cancer facility. You can you can do so much.
Yeah.
The elderly people come and do crocheting or something with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways to connect to the community. You just have to want to in order to sit down and think about how to execute it. And you can.
Mm. Let me ask you, and this might seem like a random question. I'm just kind of just interested, really. How far is your home from your childcare center?
Oh, okay. So I'm in the country. So
Okay.
so everything is like so close. So it may be 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Okay. I knew that was going to be the answer. That's why I asked it. M- m- two of my centers are literally and maybe a mile from my house, and one might be, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half. But I feel like if you live in the community where your center is, you have a pretty good pulse on your community, so you don't have to really work really hard to figure it out. So that's why I asked that.
What your parents complain about.
Yes.
People complain about things all the time, and they would talk to me because they felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, and water cooler talk, as they say, you
Yeah.
find out, okay, my parents are, this is happening with my parents. We did whole credit repair workshops with my parents.
Wow, that's good. Yeah.
They bought homes, they got their first credit cards, but we were that type of facility. You know what I mean? Because that's what we wanted to do. Now, not every facility has parents that are impoverished. Let's be clear. Not everybody is going through that, but I guarantee you, your parents have their own set of issues. Okay. And when you're looking at what, that's what entrepreneurs do, that you look to solve a problem.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to add an extra stream of income, listen to what your parents are complaining about.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of your parents are overworked and tired by Friday and they don't feel like cooking or cleaning. Maybe you provide a meal for them on Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's an extra way to, increase your income. And then if you're going to provide meals, maybe you could look into DoorDash some of those meals. You know what I mean? Everything is an opportunity, but it's also a service. You know what I mean? Parents need that. They need the support. If you have a lot of single moms, you know what I mean? Like she need to rest.
Yeah. So Saturday, maybe a Saturday care once a month, or and again, like you said, something that you can charge for brings you in some additional revenue. But I know a lot of moms that would love a Saturday service so they can, even if you're not doing anything fun, which I hope that you do, but even if you're going grocery shopping without 3 kids is much more is much more productive. Yeah, for sure.
I think we partnered with a car detail.
Okay.
We had a lot of moms. So they, most of the time, I'm not saying you can't clean your car as a woman, but I'm saying, most of the time, men are the ones that take out the trash, they wash the car, they change the tires, they do those kind of things. So, to give the women a break, our parents were mostly moms. We did have a lot of dads that came through, but they helped, like for car washes and things like that. The guys would chip in and they would wash the cars for all the moms, and they were so appreciative, and they didn't mind, paying
Yeah.
money to get that done. You know what I mean? And when we partnered with the detail shop, I think his basic fee was like $55, and he would give us like a $15 kickback for that. And we literally had to do nothing except let them use the
Wow.
let them use the facility, and depending on how often you did it, it could make you a little bit of extra money.
Yeah. So what do you think the key ingredient is for leadership in early childhood education?
Caring about your people. That's the key ingredient. If you care, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll find a way. It doesn't even matter what the problem is. If you care, you'll figure it out.
So what do you think? Because I am very community based, but we know not all centers are, which is, as you said, like one of the things that makes you special, unique, and really stand out. Why do you? Because I think people generally are good people. Why do you think so many programs are stuck around this, that aren't able to kind of get to that next level when it comes to building out a legacy?
I think that a lot of the time, we do believe heavily in what we're doing in the community, but not everyone is getting that same advice. Not everyone is getting, there are a lot of business leaders that are teaching us to look at the children, as numbers, so you don't get that humanistic, legacy-oriented element in your business. You create a franchise model to sell it, not to connect to it, and so you lose that connection to the people that you serve and forget, you know what I mean, that you are in a service-oriented business. You are there to care. Child care. You are there to care for the people that are there. Yeah, they're paying us. Granted, they are paying us, but we're here to serve them. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what we do.
How many locations do you have? Do you have one?
Well, we had 2, and we just recently closed one. Yeah, and we have a nonprofit, so we're working. We have a nonprofit. Our nonprofit is I Am Legacy PTCA, and so it's the organization that was kind of birthed from all of the services that we were providing our community. And so now we have a full-blown diaper pantry, give wipes. We do all the things for moms and children that are still in diapers.
Okay. Do you guys have like a Head Start program near where you are? Because over here we have a Head Start, which kind of is like kind of an all-encompassing program. Yeah, you do too.
We have Head Start. We have pre-K. I get a lot of places call it UPK, Universal Pre-K, but yeah, Georgia's had pre-K for a while.
Okay. And how has that impacted what you guys do, or not at all?
Honestly, it's been here for so long. When I decided I wanted my own child care center, it was already a part of the plan.
Okay.
It's like,
yeah,
what you got to do, because it's here. It's been here for us.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's here for sure. It's not going anywhere, and I would beg to say within 5 to 6 years, it's going to be everywhere, I would imagine.
We took the fact that they exist, we didn't take that, even though we could look at it as dipping into our market, which quite frankly it does, because we service a low income parents, right? But also we just cranked up our after school program.
Gotcha.
And
I do. I do. Yeah. So in your experience, what would you say your program, what would be the biggest challenges that you guys have faced at your program itself?
Well, I say initially, it was learning how to weed out people that did not connect to our purpose. You know what I mean? Like
I do. Yeah.
our interview processes became very much so extensive,
Mm-hmm.
just to weed out the people that did not connect, because not everybody is a good fit. And I think that a lot of the time, child care centers, we get into the habit of just hiring because we need the person, even if they're qualified on paper,
Mm-hmm.
connected. So we wanted you to be qualified. Yeah, that's a plus. But we wanted
Yeah.
to be connected to our purpose, so that even if you weren't qualified, you can become qualified. I can train you,
Mm-hmm.
get you trained, but I can't necessarily cultivate your heart.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
can inspire. That I can do. I can inspire,
yeah.
tell you stories. I can share with you things that we've done and how we've impacted this parent and that child. But if you don't care,
Yeah.
I can do. And the first thing out of everybody's mouth, if you've ever interviewed, is, "Oh, I love children." That's the first
Yeah.
thing out of everybody's mouth. And yeah,
Yeah. And then the next thing that I say after that is I love horses. It doesn't make me a jockey.
okay.
It does, it takes more than love. Yes,
Yeah,
it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Yeah.
it does.
Um and I think also we have definitely changed our not only our hiring system but our onboarding system. And
Absolutely.
I fully believe in what you're saying. So at one point I had 6 childcare centers. We closed some. I sold some. We closed some because after 3, for me, and everybody's going to have their own different magic number. For me, 3 was the number because it was important for me to know my children, my families, my staff, and all of our programs are on the same road. So there's 2 right across from each other. So I could literally be at one within a minute. But it was important because like you, it's a calling of a care.
Yeah.
And one person can only care for so many people in a way that's genuine. You know what I mean? So I think that as you get bigger and as you said, like either a franchise or a corporate or, you have locations through several different states. And again, I'm not knocking it. That's a business model, but we're maybe more of a heart model, if that makes sense, right?
Well,
So
that heart it's a business now.
it is. Like you said, the
So this
the,
is
the
what I
lights.
say. If it's working at Center 1 and Center 2 and Center 3, you can do 33 and it'll still do the same thing. Because as long as you have the right people tapped into the purpose. You know what I mean? I don't know. For better description, I couldn't think of anybody but Jesus. He had his disciples. He didn't go everywhere with them. You know?
Yeah.
And if you're going to have your child care leaders, they need to be, I'm talking about those child care leaders need to be all in on the plan. I
Hmm.
mean, they have to be radical about what
Yeah.
it is that you do. You don't even need to be in the room. People will think they own the business. Like, go ahead.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Those people that are sold out, you have them everywhere, and they need to be your leader. And they don't even have to be necessarily your child care director.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
You need the child care the people on the higher up. They need to be sold out on what it is that you do. But every facility needs that child care cheerleader, that person that comes to every event. You know,
Hmm.
paid or unpaid. That'll
Hmm.
that'll go to the children's things outside of the daycare facility or child care facility, whatever you want to call it. You know,
Hmm.
you need those people that are sold out on your families and sold out
Yeah.
on your purpose, sold out on your plan, so that you have the reputation of what it is that you aim to do in the world. Now,
Yeah.
if your whole thing is literacy, then who all are you teaching to read? Who are you giving books to? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Where are you going to read? Do you have a partnership or relationship with your local library?
Right.
When
Yeah.
your children are transitioning into kindergarten, do you volunteer in their classroom to make sure that they have that transitional period? Are you doing
Hmm.
those things? Are you truly connected? Are you down for your purpose and plan? That's what
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We have our kindergarten teacher, Miss Wade, who is at the local school. She actually comes to our center and talks with the parents about what to expect in kindergarten, and she shares kind of what it looks like and how it's different than pre-K and what the parents can expect, what the kids can expect, but there's a little bit of a smooth transition rather than I'm leaving all these people that I know and love to now go off to all these new folks. So yeah, I totally get that. So you talk a lot about excellence and legacy. Um, where do people who feel a little lost, where do they go? Where do they find it? And how do they implement it? That's a loaded question, but I just curious, like you said, finding these people who are gonna be radical and run your center the way that you want it to, that aligns with your vision. Like, where do people start? Maybe where do they find those people? How do they make those people? Tell us more.
You're going to have to go out into your community. You're going to have to, first of all, stop copying and pasting your job listing. You know what I mean? Talk about what it is that you're passionate about. Talk about what it is that your team is doing. Go out into the community and tell people who you are. Tell people you're looking for people that are in alignment with what it is that you care about. What are your core values? What is your mission? What is your vision? What are you seeking to do for real?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you seeking to do? Because you ain't going to get nobody radical about anything if you ain't radical yourself.
You can't just copy and paste.
But people do it all the time. They just Google,
No, you're right.
for early child care teachers.
Yeah.
You paste it and drop it in Indeed and hope Indeed works. And it's just not.
Yeah.
Going to get a
You're
lot of
right.
people come through your door.
You're right. If you're looking to make excellence and have excellence, that isn't going to be the way.
And not everybody. I'm telling you, I hired somebody. I was in the drive-through at a hot dog stand, and I'm so serious. I had such a good experience. It blew my mind. I was like, this lady can you come work for me, please? She just, her customer service, her bedside manner in a freaking hot dog stand. Okay? I'm like, you have to have your eyes, your ears open to everybody. Because people they just have that thing.
Yes.
You hear it.
You do know when you hear it. Absolutely.
Work for me. How much they pay you?
I know. I had a girl who came in the other day for an interview, and she had a portfolio with her, and I just about fell out my chair. I was like, "Oh my God, someone who gets it!" Like, I can't remember the last time somebody came with like a portfolio and it had all of her certifications in there, samples of her work, her resume, pictures of her engaged with children. Like, she was ready. And I was like, wow, it was so refreshing. Like, you knew this was somebody who was serious about what she was doing. She was serious about teaching and also proud of the work that she was doing too, right? Because anybody come in and be like, here's my degree. But like you said, that doesn't always mean anything, right? But it was the culmination of all of it. Of, I've been doing this for 7 years, and here is some of the work with my kids, and here so you could see it and you could hear it in her voice. She was so excited. And you know what she said to me? And it's funny, like what you said about the copy and paste. She said, I've been on a couple interviews where I brought this portfolio, and several of the people didn't even look at it. Like, they didn't even care. And I was like, oh my God, I was ready to throw a parade. I was like, I can't even remember last time somebody walked in on an interview with a portfolio. It was great. So yeah, I think, it's finding those sparks in a sea of minutia.
My process was crazy. It's always been weird. I hardly ever ask questions relevant to the classroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're trying to see who they are as a person. Yeah.
I intentionally make my interviews long because if I see you watching your watch, I tell you, cancel your date. You know what I mean? Because I know that a key component in childcare and what makes a really great childcare teacher is patience. You know what I mean? And so I would try their patience the entire interview. I just did. Why are you asking them that weird question to see if they'll respond to me in a way that is either condescending? They don't take me serious, especially if I'm going to be your boss. Are you going to insult me in this interview because I'm asking you a question you don't understand? You know?
Yeah.
Because when you throw people off their game, then they have more of an opportunity to show you who they really are.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to put the wrong person in my class. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
Like, we're not going to mess up her culture. You're not going to hurt my children. You're not going to, and when I say hurt, I don't want the person that when the child takes them off guard, they yell at them. They do those things because it's more than just you're burned out. You know?
Yeah.
So, but we had things. We had those preventative measures in place. Let us know if you need to take a break. Ask for a cup of water. We got you. You know those cold words like, hey, she needs to get out of there, tap out.
Yep. Are you okay? Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that comes to being in tune with what's going on in your four walls, which is why I think I mean, I know you can get some really great people who can run your programs. And so I know that that's possible, but I don't know. Maybe it's just my need of greed of I want to be the one who makes sure that it's on point. I don't know. Maybe it's that mama bear in me. I don't know, but
the mama bear in you.
it's the mama bear in me. I can't lie. I can't lie.
Check in, go visit them. You don't have to be there every day.
Yeah, I know. I do that a lot. Let me tell you, girl. When I hate that office stuff sometimes. I'm like, I'm gonna go play with the kids. But you know what's funny is that when your team members also like to get out of their classroom, I'd be like, tag, I'll switch. You can go do the filing. I'm gonna come read with the kids.
Oh,
I'm gonna come.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
cross-trained all of
Yeah,
them.
and they love it, and the teachers love it. Yeah, they love it. They're cross trained. They get to try something different because again, it gets a little hard to be inspired if you're doing literally the same thing every day. It's a little hamster wheelish, right? So just giving them the opportunity to mix it up, and that's why we love playing with the kids so much too, because it's a change of pace, and you get some loving back. I mean, what other job do you walk in and there's like 20 people who like attack your attract your attack your knees to almost take you out, right? They're so happy to see you always. There's no other job in the world like that where everybody's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, I saw you 10 minutes ago, but yay, I'm back. So yeah, so talk about legacy. I know we got a little bit off there, but talk about legacy. I mean, that when you walk in a room and everybody is inspired because you came in, not because you left, but because you came in, you know that you are making an impact in those people's lives, right? When you have staff that are like, "Hey, are you coming to our building today?" Instead of, "Uh-oh, beyond God, the boss is coming." It's the opposite at our place. They're like, "Yo, you haven't been here in days. I need to see you." I'm like, "I'm coming, I'm coming." But they really, really enjoy seeing you. That's how you know you're doing it right.
They do.
Right.
But can I be sick though? Can
I know, I know.
husband, Lord Jesus?
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, my kids say that too. They're like, "Mom, you're homesick. Why are they still calling you?" I said, "Because they need me. They're competent, but they need me. They love my voice. Sometimes they just call to see if I need chicken soup."
All it is. They just want to be around you. Like they literally do not.
Yes.
And that's how you know you have a good team.
Yeah.
They literally do not need you to operate it at, exceedingly and abundantly well, but they just want your presence around.
Yeah.
That you're a good person too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't take that for granted, but you still have to refill your cup.
Yeah, yes, for sure, for sure. So tell folks a little bit about your new book.
Okay. So the name of the book is The ABCs of Childcare Impact Mastery, the Childcare Visionary's Guide to More Profits and Even More Impact. Okay. And the goal with that book is to have childcare business leaders to connect to their purpose, whatever that may be in the world, and to utilize or leverage childcare as a tool in which they reach the world. So I think that all childcare centers around the world have a unique opportunity. I feel like literally childcare will save the world. I believe that with every fiber in my being, I believe that childcare is the one business that is uniquely positioned to reach the entire world. We have, we're more interconnected than Google. You know what I mean? When those parents come to us and they sit there with us in those parent interviews and they're asking questions about their children, those children matter to those parents, you know what I mean? More than anything in this world. And if you can have a conversation with them on how to improve how they cultivate their parenthood and how to create a better life for themselves and for their children, that's beyond measure because that's a true ripple. That's a generational ripple effect. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, I've mended relationships with grandparents and moms, baby daddies.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just teaching them how to co-parent, that creates so much peace for that child. You know what I mean? And gives that child a better opportunity to develop as a well-rounded human being.
Yeah.
I think that we kind of limit, our purpose, and we kind of, the world has some stigmas around childcare, but we have the most important job on the planet. We do. At
Yeah.
least the job you get paid for, because hey, I'm a mom of six, so it's really important. But my
That's where you're getting all your practice.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean? We're an extended network of support for
for
parents.
sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And even though they're paying us to do it, you know what I mean? The majority, if I itemized everything I did for my parents, it'd blow out the water. You know what I mean? But that's what I feel like I'm ordained in purpose to do. So if you're going to connect to families, if you're going to rear children, you're literally cultivating the future minds of the world, how these children think, how they are emotionally developed. You know what I mean? The
Yep.
amount that a child feels secure. Do you know that children's brain cells develop at different levels based on how safe they feel as a child? You know what I mean? And I mean a baby.
Yeah.
You know, this matters for real. Like by the time they get to elementary school, they are who they are.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So if
I
we
do.
don't do, I know you do.
Mhm.
But if we don't do our job exceedingly and abundantly, the people that they become in the world, you know, the future presidents,
Yeah.
the
Well,
people,
yes, yes,
hey,
yes.
hey, somebody hug that baby as a baby. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Learn.
I do. I do. So I love what you're doing. I love the work that you are doing. Continue to spread that message because a lot of people need to hear it. I'm glad I could do a little teeny part of spreading what your what your mission is for sure. For those of you who want to hear more from our friend here, Miss Childs, please check out her book. It's on Amazon. We're going to leave in the link below the first chapter so you can check it out. You're going to love it. She is wonderful. And we're so thankful for having you on the show. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. And remember, it's the small details, like the ones we're talking about today, the small details that make the biggest impact, not only in the success of your child care center, but the success of the children, parents, and staff members that you touch every single day with your heart. So keep doing the good work. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye.
Well, all the cute little kiddos have been picked up and it's time to go home. And that'll do it for another episode of the Childcare Director's Chair. Please leave a review so Erica knows the information is helping you to manage and improve your childcare centers. Remember to subscribe to get the latest episode from Erica's Childcare Director's Chair.